The first cabinet meeting, the focus will be, I think.
The Prime Minister gets ready for his first cabinet meeting tomorrow. We'll tell you about his plans.
Do swear.
Parliamentary secretaries are sworn in today. And the country gets a machine to destroy firearms. The Bahamas Tonight starts now.
Covering the islands of the Bahamas, ZNS Network presents The Bahamas Tonight.
This portion of the news is brought to you by McDonald's. McDonald's, I'm loving it.
The new Christie administration prepares for its first cabinet meeting. Good evening, everyone. I'm Keishla Adderley, and welcome to the Bahamas Tonight, the National Report. Thanks for joining us. As a new parliamentary session gets set to begin, the 21-member Christie cabinet meets tomorrow. And while the agenda will be on ensuring that the government's policy focus is firmly laid out for the next 5 years, it'll also be on job creation and protecting those already in place.
The first cabinet meeting, the focus will be, I think, essentially on what are our priorities. What are we going to do about the economy? And that means getting a briefing from the Minister of State for Finance on the economy. What are we going to do about crime? And getting a briefing from the Minister of National Security on what we're going to do about crime. We are going to be very, very, very strong in our approach in those two areas because too many people are unemployed, some 43,000 people unemployed. 34% of them young people, and too many people involved in criminal activity. And we have to somehow have programs that we have promised to the Bahamian people implemented as quickly as possible.
Well, tonight we take a look at some of the key issues facing the country, how newly appointed cabinet ministers view the challenges and plan to tackle them, not least among them crime. The Ministry of National Security will for the first time have a minister and Minister of State. Dr. Bernard Nottage will take the lead with Senator Keith Bell supporting him. Our Clint Watson spoke with them about the multifaceted plans ahead.
The plan is to attack crime on several fronts. Urban Renewal 2.0 will be used as a preventative method, while swift justice will seek to address the judicial challenges.
It would be ridiculous for us to expect that when we get elected, it's just going to go away. That's not going to happen. But we have a number of strategies which have been outlined during the course of our campaign, and we have some strategies which the Prime Minister has been discussing with myself and with members of the anti-crime team, which we intend to implement.
First will be a comprehensive review and analysis, as well as a look of the resources, says the new National Security Minister, Bernard Nottage. He also plans to engage the community.
The main thing is that we are going to be serious about it. We're going to be very aggressive about it. We're going to be there has to be a soft approach with the community, but there has to be a hard-nosed approach toward crime and criminal activities and those who are committing crimes. And so I anticipate that with this combination that we will begin, hopefully, to make an impact in the not-too-distant future.
The government is also strengthening its efforts against the smuggling of firearms. Former ambassador to Haiti and former Defense Force Commodore Clifford Scavella will lead this initiative.
We know the guns are not made in the Bahamas. We know the guns are coming in mainly through our ports. We know that not only that we have a lot of entry points into the Bahamas where people do not go through customs and immigration. So obviously we have to look at where the guns are coming from, primarily the United States of America. Who's bringing them in? Well, criminals, maybe some are being brought in by fishermen, by tourists, and by other people who are seeking to engage in nefarious activities in our country. And I think that we may need to get some international assistance.
Bringing law enforcement expertise to the cabinet is the new State Minister for National Security, former Police Senator Keith Bell. He says the Swift Justice program is the key to reducing crime as well as targeting prolific offenders.
Through the Swift Justice Initiative, we can get these cases tried in a timely manner, and you're going to see very, very timely results. We're going to target these prolific offenders, and we intend to get them off our streets. The fact is, we're not necessarily looking at doing too much amendments. We're looking at action. And when I mean action, I'm talking about actually pushing those cases through, targeting those hot spots, and ensuring that the Bahamian public not only feel safe, but they can actually sense, feel that the community is once again the village concept that it once was.
Now, Dr. Nottage also represents in Parliament a large inner city community where a lot of crimes are committed. He says that together with pastors, he's hoping to be able to address a lot of the issues there with conflict resolution. He also recognizes that a major problem is unemployment. Once you're able to get salaries into the hands of many of these people committing crimes, it also acts as a deterrent, something they're working heavily on. Clint Watson, ZNS News.
Well, the Christie administration campaigned on a major crime-fighting plan, Project Safe Bahamas. The plan includes preventative measures along with aggressive detection and prosecution. Now, given the mandate from the Bahamian people to deal with crime, Attorney General and Minister of Legal Affairs, Senator Allison Maynard Gibson, says in partnership with Bahamians, they'll also address the scourge of crime guided by the Swift Justice Initiative.
All of the agencies that are involved in the administration of justice participated in that program, and we're just going to immediately reassemble. It's almost a no-brainer, I have to say. We have to work together. All of the pieces must be together in crime fighting, and we are going to work together on behalf of the Bahamian people. There's no doubt about it. It is the people's mandate, and we are about the people's business.
The final 3 appointments in the government's executive management team have been made. 3 parliamentary secretaries were given a charge to get to work after swearing-in ceremonies today. Our Shanique Miller has more.
They bring up the rear in the executive branch of the new Christie administration.
I, Anthony Donald Edward Moss.
Anthony Moss, the parliamentary secretary in the Ministry of Agriculture, Marine Resources and Local Government.
I, Renward Ricardo Wells.
Renward Wells, parliamentary secretary in the Ministry of Works and Urban Renewal.
I, Cleola Hamilton.
And Cleola Hamilton, parliamentary secretary in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Immigration. As he affirmed their positions to serve in the government ministries listed above, Prime Minister Christie said each of the parliamentary secretaries bring their own strengths to the table. The Prime Minister told them he expects that beyond their individual portfolios, they're expected to lend a hand in the national effort of full inclusion.
What is so important about governance is that it gives us the opportunity to remind Bahamians that what connects us is much more powerful than what divides us.
The veteran among the trio is Anthony Moss. This is his 3rd time being elected to the House of Assembly. He talked about his ideas to grow and diversify agriculture.
One of the main things that I would like to do going in is that we want to sit down and see if we can create some way in order to organize the growth of some food in each and every island within the Commonwealth of the Bahamas.
Mr. Christie says his interest in first-timer Renward Wells is personal, as he is among those included in the new generation of PLPs.
Is one of the brightest young men I've ever met, who many years today, Excellency, when we are hanging our feet in the water and looking at the fading sun, will be in public life because of his age and his steadfastness in commitment to the development of our country.
A nurse by profession, Cleola Hamilton is no stranger to the country. She served as president of the Nurses Union and vice president of the Trade Union Congress. She talked about her new role in the Ministry of Immigration and Foreign Affairs.
We have a problem in immigration, and I intend to take it head on and do the best that I can.
So I would wish to say to you that you have been placed in positions to assist your ministers in the implementation of the work that is assigned to you, and to make your ministers' work easier as a result of the work that you will do in furtherance of that ministry. And so I please implore you to recognize that we are now facing very serious times in our country, and that as soon as you finish here, you go to work and we begin the process of moving the country forward.
Christie says he will now turn his attention to appointing the group who will serve in the upper chamber of Parliament, as well as those other appointments to government agencies and corporations. Shanique Miller, ZNS News.
Well, still to come in the Bahamas tonight, the literal assault on one of the tools in violent crime. That story still ahead.